Oh, sorry. I was just thinking about, that's a really good area. Since they're gone, right, my granddaughter. I'm not sure. I'll sit down here. Yeah. That's not her. All right. Yeah. All right.
Got about a 1 minute warning for the meeting to begin.
Yesterday. Oh, yeah. I don't know. It's third.
No. And welcome all Rotarians to the room and on Zoom today. I'm Steve Sperling, and I'm your Rotary president for this Rotary here. Gonna take this opportunity to thank all of you for coming today, and this is a transition meeting, so we'll go ahead and go next. So we want to remind all Rotarians that each month Rotary has a theme, and this month's theme is a Rotary Fellowship. Second, there it is, Rotary Fellowships. And as you may remember, the theme for the year is Unite for Good. And that will be changing in a week or two here from Taipei. So I believe it was Lynn, did you have the four-way test?
Everybody can stand. All the things we think, say, or do, first in the truth, second is very long, third will live well, and friendships, fourth will be never long.
Fifth,
Is it
fun. You could remain standing and join me in pledge of allegiance.
Flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And you may be seated. When I highlight that we are at approximately $878, and we still have a couple weeks yet to get to our $1,000 goal, I believe that we are assured that we will make that goal. But it is time for happy thoughts again.
Happy Bucks, happy thoughts. Let's give it a wonderful name here. Ashok's leading us off today.
Thank you so much for all those who participated in the Rotary Peace on Earth by 2030 game. It was a big success. Yesterday, or earlier this week, we also had Argentinian delegation that we hosted as part of it. Bill Victor was the lead moderator with the 3 clubs also participating. And Phil, you spoke Spanish very well and was a great tour guide for our Mayo part of it. So honoring Phil. Thank you.
Excellent. Come over to this table. Anybody have a thoughts? Happy bucks. Looks like Chris. See money in your hand. Is that a good sign?
I carry it with me at all times. Thank you, Frank. So I wasn't able to make the dedication yesterday for the at the park at Silver Lakes Park, but I understand there was a good turnout. And so congratulations to our club for donating the benches at the splash pad there. And so it was a good day, and the mayor spoke favorably about Rotary and so on. So congratulations to us.
Great. I'm moving across. Anybody else? Here in the center, Randy?
No, just waiting to ask.
Oh, it's waiting to ask. All right, you on this side. LJ?
Well, yesterday, that big thing, I was sitting having a breakfast. And I looked down and it was 10:45. And I go, oh, 11 o'clock, 11 o'clock. So I grabbed stuff and ran down there and got right there at Soldier Field. So I'm putting $5 in that. So there we go. Then I saw. Yeah, I'm a little red here.
Here's somebody who was there yesterday.
Well, it was.
Yeah, I just want to continue the celebration of yesterday. You've got to go see that facility at Silver Lake and the Soldiers Field. It started with really wonderful too, yeah. But it was fun, and we are very proud to be a part of it. And the mayor did a wonderful job of recognizing our contributions, not only for this project, but historically. Also mentioned the skate park that the 3 Rotary clubs were part of forming. And the big enhancements of the skate park are part of, I don't know, one of the subsequent phases of the Silver Lake improvements altogether. So by next week, they said just one more inspection before the facility can open, but go enjoy it. It's really fun.
Excellent. Anyone else before you come to me? There, Lynn's got something.
Yeah, my grandson Jackson is graduating from Shakopee High School. He's a hockey player and he just got picked up by Billings, Montana. He's going to be playing in the juniors on a level 2.
What position, Lynn?
He's defense.
That's a hockey player. All right. My last couple bucks, I'll go last today. I'm happy for yesterday. I was thankful for Sarah and all those who were there. I was so proud to be a Rotarian as Mayor Norton was pitching all of us. I appreciate that. And then I also want to mention, I put a clipboard around it's going around. I'm just trying to get an idea, since I sent the invoices out this week for dues. I've had people that we haven't heard from in the last 12 months. So I wanted to hear from everybody. If you know of anybody who's not going to continue with Rotary, put a note on there. Otherwise, I'm going to be calling people that we have no information about. Because on June 30th, I'll be obviously removing names. And so that's something we'll go into a little bit later. That's the current roster.
Yes, no, or maybe.
Yes, no, or maybe.
To tell you what.
Just to let us know, are they even going to participate with Rotary anymore? Is really what I'm trying to do. Yeah, continuing membership. I figured our deposit of $365 for our dues this year, of course, says yes, you want to participate. But I've also not heard from people for 12 months who paid last year. And I've been told by several people that they will not continue with Rotary. And I want to be sure that my list and my invoices. I'm not pestering anybody, because next week I'll start sending reminder invoices for dues, so. I want to be a president that doesn't pester people, but I'm not officially president yet. Steve is still our president, so I appreciate that. All right, we're back to business here, Steve.
All right, thanks, Frank. And for today's reflection, we have Laurel, I believe, sorry, Randy. We don't have my notes today. Hold this or.
As America celebrates its 250th birthday, we have much to reflect upon and even more to be grateful for. For 2.5 centuries, our nation has endured challenges, overcome divisions, and continued its pursuit of the ideals set forth in 1776. Liberty, opportunity, and self-government. The story of America is not simply the story of its leaders, soldiers, or elected officials. It's also the story of ordinary citizens who step forward to make communities stronger. It is the story of neighbors helping neighbors, volunteers serving without recognition, people working together for the common good. That spirit of service is where Rotary enters the American story. More than 120 years, Rotary has embodied many of the values that have made America strong. Rotary members have believed that lasting change begins at the local level. Through service projects, scholarships, youth leadership programs, community partnerships, and humanitarian efforts, Rotarians have strengthened towns and cities across the nation. While America has provided the freedom and opportunity for citizens to serve, Rotary has provided a pathway for that service to flourish. Rotary's motto, service above self, reflects the very best of the American character. The belief that we each have a responsibility to contribute to something larger than ourselves. Throughout our nation's history, communities have thrived when citizens have become engaged. Rotary clubs have helped cultivate that engagement by bringing together people, different backgrounds, professions, and viewpoints to solve problems and improve lives. In doing so, Rotary has demonstrated that service can unite people even when they disagree on other matters. As we mark America's 250th birthday, we celebrate not only our nation's achievements, but also the countless acts of service that have strengthened our communities generation after generation. Rotary has been a part of that legacy, and its members continue to write new chapters every single day. The future of America will not be determined solely in Washington, D.C. or in state capitals. It will be shaped in local communities by people who have care enough to serve, to lead, and to make a difference. Rotarians have done that exactly for more than a century. And their contributions remind us that the strength of our nation is always rested in the hands of the engaged citizens. As we celebrate 250 years of American independence, may we recommit ourselves to the values that have sustained both our nation and Rotary: service, integrity, fellowship. We believe that together we can build a better future. Happy 250th birthday, America, and thank you, Rotary, for helping make our communities, our nation, and our world a little brighter. Thank you.
Thanks so much for that, Randy. That's a very timely reflection. So, yeah, that's right. It's time to welcome our guests today. We have a couple guests who will be introduced, and Colin's going to do the honor with that.
Joe Carroll is Rotarian from Missouri. But whereabouts in Missouri?
Parkville, Missouri, which is northern suburb of Kansas City.
Parkville, Missouri, just north of suburb of Kansas City. We're up by the airport. So been a member for 24 years. Really enjoying visiting with all of you today.
Welcome, and you must be Cody?
Yep.
Financial Services?
Correct. Yep.
I did that for 29 years, so now I can dress like this and you have to dress like that. So 26 in the house.
Hey, everyone, just moved down to Rochester from, St. Paul. Grew up in Lakeville, Minnesota, and came down here to work for, Steeple, which is a financial services company. And yeah, moved down here a couple months ago and looking to join some clubs and get involved in the community.
They're very clever. Thank you. Thanks, Colin. Introducing our guests. And next item, we have we will begin to talk and do a little bit of announcing. And there were a couple announcements that we have. We'll start with I'll start with the White Oak one because Randy just took a bite. So we'll talk about White Oak's cleanup announcement, which is coming up in a couple weeks. Yesterday. Oh, it was yesterday?
It was last month.
Oh. Okay, this is the next one, coming up on June 17th. And it will be at the same time as we usually do it. There's an announcement that is also not on here that I wanted to highlight because this one I mentioned the last meeting, but I want to reiterate because I'm not going to be around to pester you. I don't mind pestering you as opposed to Frankie. He won't pester you, but I will pester you. If you can mark it down in your calendars, but we have rotation day coming up July, I believe it's July 30th. It's either the 30th or 31st. 30th. And that one is at Iron Butterfly Flower Farm. And this was a suggestion that Allie gave to me earlier, and she said, "Oh, I'd really like to go see those flowers if we could ever do that, like for a rotation day." I said, "Well, I have a connection there, so I know Deb Majerus is a colleague and a friend, so I want to be sure that we have a good representation of when that comes. I will unfortunately be out of town. That's a week. We always go up to a cabin, but please put that on your calendars for July 30th. The flowers will be in full bloom and looking really, really good. So I hope all of you can show up. With that, I think Randy wanted to say something about Rochester Fest.
Not count for the day. 17 more days for Rochester to start. So it's been a little hectic here. Rochester Fest been around for 43 years. I've been doing this for 2 years here, but not for about 5 years. Great business, great fun. Put a couple things on your tables. This is a flyer of all the activities and events. So a 6-page flyer, about 80 some events on here. The week of June 23rd to the 27th. Just put that on your calendar.
It's at Soldiers Field.
At Soldiers Field, go to the right spot. So we have a lot of feature events. We have businesses that tie into Rochester Fest. A couple of them I like is the Breakfast on the Farm on June 20th. It's going to be over in Stewartville. So if you've got kids or grandkids, it's a great way to spend a day on the farm. Riding tractors, doing hay bales, eating good pancakes. And this year there's going to be a RAPA tournament. So Rochester Area Pickleball Association is tying in a pickleball tournament to Rochester Fest. It's going to be out the Eagles Club. Music, got a lot of music, guys. Starting with Rock Bottom. I don't see Dave here, but Dave's band is going to play at noon on Tuesday, June 23rd. It's our senior shine day. And then we go to the Bee Gees, a local band, not a local band, but a women's band called the Bee Gees. It's a tribute to the Bee Gees. And we have a Beatles band coming Tuesday night. Okay, they dress up in three decades of the Beatles. It's Tuesday night, 8 o'clock at Soldiers Field. It's an amazing performance. I watched them perform here about 2 months ago. On Wednesday, we have Sister Love. 4 young sisters, ages 15 to 21, put on one heck of a performance. Out there, they'll dress up. It's going to be a tribute to the troop type thing. So if you're a veteran, come on out. And then we have a fabulous that same night. Local bands celebrating, I think, their 45th anniversary singing to us. So always a good crowd. Thursday, we have Becky Schlegel, an area professional singer. And then the Honky Tonk Happy Hour that evening. So come on out for that. And then Friday, one of my favorite bands called the Rockin' Head Cats. I sort of dresses like Elvis and shakes his hips like we all used to do when we were 40 years younger. Puts on one heck of a show on Friday evening. Before that, we have the Femme Electric Band, who I haven't seen play yet, but I believe they'll put on a heck of a show. Is that true?
Yes, they will.
His wife plays in the band, so come on out and support them. And then Saturday, we have Rock Bottom. He's only band I hired twice because he was cheap and good. Don't say I'm gonna say cheap, okay? And then we have a tribute to the troops. So with our 250th anniversary, we're bringing a special band from Minneapolis, St. Paul called Tribute to the Troops. From 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock on Saturday night. Should be one heck of a show, So it's not all about music, although for our age, most of it's about music. We have a lot of kids events, including a bubble dance party. So we have thousands of gallons of bubbles and let the kids play in it as they're squirting bubbles at you. Just a blast to watch. So bring your kids or grandkids out there. Bring an extra set of clothes. It's a smart thing to do, and I'll have a shower out there probably, some type of shower. You'll need it. Mayor Norton is putting on what's called the America 250 bike ride. She is buying decorations. We're going to decorate 250 kids' bikes that Saturday morning at Edison Building. And they're gonna do the parade route, 3/4 of the parade route. So come on out and support Mayor Norton. She's pretty pumped about this. We need more bike riders. And then something new, I brought something called Nerf Wars. We used to shoot Nerf guns. They're all raise your hand here. I've got 13 barricades coming in and 250 Nerf guns coming to Soldier Fields. We're gonna have some battles and wars out there for kids, grandkids. They say for anybody. So bring back some old memories, come out and shoot your Nerf gun. And then Grand Parade is on Saturday, starting at 2 o'clock. We've got about 85 entries so far, and I get 2 or 3 more a day. We'll have close to 90 entries when we get started. Just an amazing parade that goes for 1 mile. Not support that. And then help me, guys. I need about 400 people to run Rochester Fest. Okay. A lot of basic jobs like pouring beer or working in the registration area. But if you can help for just 2 or 3 or 4 hours one day during the week, it would be greatly appreciated. Really appreciate it. And Apollo was there pretty much every day last year, and that's so much appreciated. If you can help, let me know, or go onto the website, rochesterfest.com. The right-hand corner, there's something called volunteers. Just click on that and sign in to help. It'd be great. The final thing is buttons. We try to raise a few $1,000s each year by selling these $5 buttons. Okay. On your tables, I put a list of about 30 area businesses that are giving deals if you wear your button to Rochester Fest. Bunny's coconut cake is one of my favorites. The free Bunny's coconut cake. Can't beat that. Half price into the swimming pool. Just a lot of good deals out there. So please support Rochester Fest. Buy a button for $5. I got them back there if you want them. If not, they're at every ID store around town. They're 125 buy. So once again, take your flyers with you. If you can help, I would truly appreciate it. If you don't want to help, I want to come on down. We'd love to see you down there and having fun. So thank you, Steve. Bless you.
I see the Juneteenth Scholarship Award. Could you mention who's backing that? And is it for high school seniors or what?
Yeah, that the NAACP has an award they give out to one high school student every year, Juneteenth award, and I'm giving them the stage for 15 minutes to allow them to bring these students up on stage to honor them for doing something great. So, yeah, something new and it's gonna be fun to do, I think, so. Ash,
When you just mentioned the
theme is One Nation, Many Stories. And we try to tie everything around the 250th anniversary of America. We do have a special ceremony to honor our veterans and first responders on Wednesday evening at 5:45. So if you're a veteran or want to support veterans, come on down for that as well, so.
Carol Brown.
We can ask my microphone here. And then Carol Brown Day. I don't know if you know Carol Brown or not, but she ran Rochester Fest for 24 years. She passed away this last October, I think it was. So we're renaming the Rochester Fest stage the Carol Brown stage. So the Beatles are gonna play on the Carol Brown stage and Film Electric's gonna play on the Carol Brown stage. We put together an amazing video of Carol Brown and her life at Rochester Fest. We're gonna show that on Thursday afternoon, I think it is. But yeah, she's a very special lady. I met her once is all, but I hear great stories about her, so. Any other questions? Thank you very much.
For that information, that's very informative. We wanna, oh, Randy, I forgot to ask, will they have the flags again this year?
Yes, Bill's flag is gonna be there, and because the 25th, we're putting flags all around the track.
So if you didn't go before, last year, they had flags, it's so impressive, just a field of flags around the track. It's worth it to go just to see that, it's really inspiring and really moving, so.
$10, you can dedicate a flag to someone who served in the military. They'll bring it back every single year, so you can see every single year. My wife put it on our Christmas card last year. She was so honored I did that for her dad. Just a nice fundraiser for the military.
That's
We
great.
stole the idea from Lynn.
It's a good idea, you're gonna share it where we can, so thanks for that information. So are there any other announcements besides that? Okay, then I want to just take a little time here to kind of recap my version of the highlights for this year. And as you know, the international meeting this coming year, or this coming month, or in just a few weeks, is in Taipei, Taiwan. And so the kind of the theme for that is going from Calgary, which was my year last year, to Taiwan and then beyond as well. So I know Abstract is planning on going. Frank is not been recommended not to travel quite yet, but he's bouncing back pretty quick, so he'll be able to attend maybe next year. And for sure, all of you, the expectation hopefully will be to attend the international meeting when it's in Minneapolis in 2028. So please keep that open. It's in June, usually the middle part of June. And consider that. They will be needing lots of volunteers. John already is volunteered to be head sergeant at arms for them. That's actually, I'm joking, but that is a very important part of an international meeting. People have a lot of responsibilities. So I wanted to start with some highlights for the year. And the year began really for me with the Calgary meeting. And the Calgary meeting, we were exposed to new ideas and new people from all over the world. And it was really a wonderful opportunity to see what the bigger Rotary was all about, Rotary International. And I have to say, I was a member here for a long time. And my exposure to Rotary is mainly what we're doing today. Our local club, but my international exposure was mainly just, learning about maybe a grant that the Rochester Grant Committee approved for an international grant. But there's so much more than that, and so much beyond that. And there's so many opportunities to get involved with various interests, various programs. The Peace Park, as I mentioned, that's kind of where he learned about the Peace Moonshot. The and getting together in the House of Fellowship, that's always a huge part of an international meeting. You get to meet a lot of people there. So that was a wonderful opportunity to get to know the big Rotary on a bigger scale. And we got exposed to some of those new ideas, and we decided when we got back to try some of the new ideas. And one of those new ideas was a companion club. And we decided to try something with World Polio Day. And we came up with the idea of, well, what about pancakes for polio? And that event happened, and it was a good success. That was I think it was 5 or 6 restaurants that participated in Pancakes for Polio. A great exposure for Rotary, and we're always, each year, we're this close to wiping out polio in the world, and we just want to get it over the finish line. I think they said last year they call it wild polio. There were maybe 7 cases in the world. So we are very, very, very close, but we just kind of get it to the finish line. Wanted to mention about the companion club too. That was an idea that came out of the Rotary International meeting in Calgary. And, we're exposed to these new ideas. Not all ideas are meant to flourish. And that's one where we started strong in the fall. But it was decided to let that one kind of fade because attendance was dwindling, let's just say, toward the end of the year. And at least, we tried. We found out that it wasn't something that was sustainable with our club. But if you don't try, you don't know. Next one. So one of the other things that we do in the fall, go back, it is the Quarry Hill Fall Festival, and that's been on our calendar for many years, and we do support that very well. We provide the volunteers for Quarry Hill, and it was, as you can see here, I guess that's in the next one. It was a beautiful fall day for Quarry Hills festival, and just gorgeous weather. There are some other events were in the fall and late summer teed up for the troops that Lynn's involved with each year. Golfing at Willow Creek. The ongoing service projects at White Oaks Park cleanup. And tree planting at Quarry Hill. These are examples of things that are ongoing each year. And as we moved into autumn, there was Cradle to Career and other opportunities to experience Quarry Hill, like Rotation Day. We had Rotation Day at Quarry Hill. And for those of you who are longtime Rochester residents, it's memorable. If you've ever had a chance, we got a chance to go into the caves and learn about the history of the caves and the relationship between Quarry Hill and, between the caves and the state hospital. And that was a very close relationship back then. And some of us remember those caves were open all the time, and they provided a wonderful place to scare your friends. It's all dark in there. You can't really see anything. And you can pop out of these little cubbies.
So you end up in the state hospital after.
Yeah. Yeah. You be a little careful. There's a lot of graffiti in there. There's graffiti from back in the 30s, almost 100 years ago. That's still there. You can still read it on the walls. It's kind of a trip back in history. In November, the Rotary Risers presented our club with the Peace Bowl, which I didn't know about this, but when a club celebrates a 100-year anniversary, it was in commemoration of our club's 100-year anniversary. It is a real honor to receive a peace bowl from another Rotary Club, and the Ryllers provided that for us. And I'll tell you, maybe, I think here we could go on to the next one. Mayor Norton, oh, it's the one after this anyways, we'll get to that, but Mayor Norton cautioned me with the peace bowl. She said, you will find it is very frustrating to deal with the city and come up with approval, as she experienced with the installation of the Amelia Weatherstein statue that took way longer than what you might hope that it would. But it's still in that process, going through committee. We don't know where we're gonna end up being able to put it. They're not even to the point where they're entertaining suggestions on where to put it yet. It's just, you know, can we do it? I'm sure it'll get through, but it's just patience. So it'll be probably during Frank's year where we have an installation. The Courage Retreat. This is a wonderful opportunity. Sarah, you'll have to correct me, but we had this in the fall. Then this spring, it was for Willow Creek Middle School students, and it was offsite at the volleyball center. But the students were challenged to commit to courageous acts and then demonstrate that and act that out. And then they were endorsed or approved by their peers or voted on. And then these awards were given out this spring. 3 times, was it? So 3 different times. And the first few times we didn't know if we were going to get, 5 people or 10 people, but each time it became more and more and more. And I was able to attend the last one. And the surprise was these same counselors from the Courage Retreat came back from the cities and surprised the kids by being there. And it was, I think, very well received. So that's a very good program. 3 clubs supported that, and it was a really great experience. So the Amelia Weatherstein installation, not every time that Rotary has an event is the weather great. And this was an opportunity to brave the cold and be out there. And kind of like Lee, I didn't quite get the message right. So I showed up the day before at this site, and it was freezing there. Couldn't figure out why nobody else showed up, but then they figured out it was the wrong day. Also, the Crutches for Africa event was this spring, similarly, a rainy morning. Although I'm told by Allie, who was the last shift, that the sun came out and brightened up, and the trailer this was in the beginning, the trailer was totally full. And in fact, I think they're still collecting. I believe Christine Erke has almost a whole nother trailer full of stuff to add to this trailer from her exposure with that Kaler group and people leaving their crutches and things like that behind. So it's a wonderful opportunity to continue that. So I have to say, it has been nice to have Mayor Norton as a Rotarian and kind of almost a guide or a mentor through the little things that you have to do to get something approved by the city. Like I say, it's still going on, it's still taking its time. Some of the things that, John, go ahead.
Comment on Mayor Norton and the dedication and splash. She gave us a real nice hoopla.
Yes, I heard that she spent more time talking about our $10,000 grant than the $100,000 donation. So
She didn't have us on the sign, so we're gonna make sure we get on the brass plaque.
Great. So one of the things on that previous slide that showed the bad weather, that's one of the things I wanted to say is that, you don't have to worry, rain or shine or snow or rain, Rotarians are gonna show up. That's been instrumental to me, personally, when asking about the Rochester Rotary Ramble, which we'll get into a little bit further on here.
Hey, Steve, last February when we were installing the peace pole in Istanbul for the BAU Peace Center designation, a flash snowstorm occurred. The president of the Rotary International had to stand out there in the snow too, so.
Yeah, well, it's another example of it's not always nice
No
weather,
boundaries.
but Rotary shows up still. So some examples of service projects here too, on the upper right of the screen is the benches that were by the skate park. They were in dire need of attention. But unfortunately, we spent the day cleaning those up and repainting those, and that's at the end of the day, just before we went to get ice cream. And if you go by there as of yesterday, part of the culture with the skate park is graffiti. And unfortunately, there's graffiti on there again, but Dave is committed to going over there with the leftover spray paint that we have and just covering that over. How long it stays that way, we don't know. We don't have to worry about that with the new benches, however, because they're in a fenced-in area. At least I hope we don't have to worry about them. They have to climb a fence. And then the White Oaks Park continuing with the Jeremiah program service that's being done on is it every other month, I believe, that's done. That continues throughout the year. Just kind of going on in the background and just it's taken over, Rotary takes care of it, and it just continues. So here we go. I wanted to get to this point too and talk about the Rochester Rotary Ramble, because this has occupied my subconscious and conscious mind for the past several months. And you never know, it was the first one, so we didn't know what to expect. We had approximately 120. Oh, and I wanted to highlight the banner too, which you approved our purchase of the banner, which we can use for outdoor events, indoor events, public events. It's a wonderful PR thing for us, but you never know what is going to happen with a new event. We had about 120 riders sign up. We liked that many came. We had them from all over the upper Midwest. So it wasn't just a Rochester event. Like Med City Meander tends to be more just in town people, or just maybe Byron, surrounding communities, because people aren't really getting too excited to drive 100 miles or 200 miles for a 20-mile bike ride. They can do that at home. But this was a little more of a challenge, and so we attracted people from Milwaukee, Madison, Des Moines, Decorah, Sioux Falls, Brainerd, Bemidji, all over the upper Midwest. And people, I think, enjoyed it. They said they really had a good time. Thing that was a little unpredictable. Again, weather, it was a beautiful day. However, the people who were taking maybe just a little bit longer to finish ended up finishing into a very strongly headwind the last 15 miles. And they weren't complaining, but they were just saying, where did this wind come from? It probably could have avoided that if they would have gone just a little faster and finished a little earlier. But they were enjoying themselves nevertheless. The things we learned about this ride are that we have to be a little more clear that there is a cutoff at the end. Colin and Don had to spend probably an extra, I would say, at least 1 hour, if not 2 hours, at the last wayfinder post to make sure these people got in safely. Colin and Don deserve a round of applause. So it was like I say, I think overall a good success. We raised approximately $9,000, which is a good start. We probably learned a few things like you might want to we might want to start a little bit earlier in the year, with fundraising part, but again, it was the first time, our first experience. We wanted to highlight the fact, and I wanted to thank all the volunteers from Rotary, and there were volunteers from the community as well that stepped up. And as the weeks got closer and closer to the time of the event, there were still several openings, and my blood pressure was beginning to rise a little bit, but I didn't have to worry. The Rotarians came through, and everybody stepped up when there was a need. It's kind of like the same thing that happens in a tornado or a hurricane. Rotarians step up, and it's a good testimony. So this is the Peace Moonshot meetings I wanted to show of what they look like. But this is a Zoom meeting that we had of 8 or 9, 9 sessions, 8 sessions, 9 sessions that were held on Zoom. And it was a very good and moving experience. Our club's first experience with it, but it was a 3-club effort as well. And a lot came from that opportunity, not just things that you can use for Rotary, things that you can use personally, but also things that the world needs. So I would highlight that, and then we show that the next one was a certificate that Ashrak got. This is what you get when you're finished with the program. It is a really good training for life, I think, is a good way to put it. We learned a lot. The group, I think, came together, especially toward the end, I would say. And one of the pillars that the program promotes, there's 7 pillars, but the last one is faith. And I wanted to relate that to the bike ride because you as you get toward the end, and there are these openings that are unfilled, and you're not sure that the weather's going to cooperate because there's a lot of unknowns. You just have to have faith, and it all came together and worked out really well. Kind of like this peace program did as well. Just you have faith that it's going to go through the 9 sessions, and everybody's going to get out of it what they want to, and they did it. So, good example of that.
Just wanted to shout out to Sarah, who helped with the application process. So this was run through our 3-club approval process. We needed the template, and it was capped by Elaine Case showing up at the last one and giving us the clearance that the process works. And so thank you so much.
Yes, and Sarah will be taking over this next year for Elaine. This last year she was kind of like in training about how the process works, and now she's an expert, so she'll guide the 3 clubs, this coming year, and then the Greater Rochester Club will have somebody like in Sarah's position coming up, and they'll take over when Sarah's all finished. So the thing that I want to kind of close with here is what just finished this morning was the Argentinian Friendship Exchange, which was, I think, a resounding success. You can see, well, maybe you can't quite see, but the shirts that they're wearing are Rochester Corn and Cob Tower. So it's just a remnant or a reminder of Rochester for them. That was very special. They all got a chance to see that, and living here, you kind of take it for granted. You can sort of be a little cheesy, but people just love that.
Little corn.
Little corn, yeah, and they just love that. But it was a wonderful experience. The group, Carlos, Virginia, Analia, Ivana, Graciela, Luis, Juan, and Jose really had a great time. The people that hosted them got a chance to get to know them a little better. Their English skills varied quite a bit. Especially the more mature people had a really good command of English. Carlos on the far right, Jose on the far right, he had spent, I think, 3 different times in the US for 6 months at a time. So his English was really good. And then Ivana, who's in the center, who stayed with us, her command of English amounted to her 6-year-old son teaching her English before she came. But I have to say, she was an expert at Google Translate. So we had, and she also happened to be a colleague. She's a dentist in Argentina. Her husband is also a dentist. He was scheduled to come as well, but he broke his foot the week before the trip and on a motorcycle accident, so he had to stay home. And so she was a little nervous because she hadn't been away from her children by themselves and leave. And she just, it wasn't that she was worried about the kids, she was worried about leaving her husband in charge of the kids at home. So I think we can relate. She FaceTimed her son this morning, and I got to use a little English with him, and he did just fine. So it was a wonderful opportunity to have a friendship exchange. They're enjoying it. They're still about halfway through it now. They're going to Menominee today, or Menominee, then Rice Lake, then on to Stillwater at the end, and having a final farewell dinner, which I believe all the people that went down to Argentina are going to show up there. From the Rochester area, it was April Suter, who was the president of the Risers Club, who went to Argentina and go up there for that farewell dinner. I think that,
I was just gonna add to that, because it's Rotary Fellowship Exchange Month, this fellowship exchange has been going on for a while. And we learned at the Mayo Historical area that there's been a relationship between Mayo physicians and Argentina for 100 years. So yeah, the fellowships are short-term and long.
yeah, and that reminds me too, Ivana, through our networking with Rotary, we arranged that when she's up in Stillwater for 3 days, she's going to be able to go into Hudson across the river and observe a dental office and see how we do things. But in our conversation between us, we determined that their level of technology and advancement in dentistry is quite advanced, equal to ours, I would say. So it was very fascinating, the things that we were able to discuss. So I want to go on to the next part, which is the transition. And this one, I'm going to leave for Frank to talk about. This is at the
Transition.
at the dedication yesterday, or was it yesterday? Yeah, just yesterday. My wife and I actually took a bike ride later in the day to check that out ourselves. They were just closing up for the day, and I had heard that the big splash was the thing that you need to see. So we were on our bikes waiting for the big splash. It actually was worth the wait, I think. So that's really good. So Frank, if you can come on up here, I want to congratulate you, but oh yeah, thank you. We're going to send around the meeting sign up. I totally forgot that. Oh, and also Frank will help you with this, but he doesn't know yet. But there's a special thanks that we want to give, and this is actually to Joseph.
Yeah.
And you know this about Joseph. He has an interest in astronomy, and that's kind of a passion of his. We have a little gift, but it's not here, unfortunately. It's coming yet this afternoon, so you'll just have to imagine. It's a framed piece of the Secote Alin meteorite that is coming. And it's one of the largest meteorites in recorded history. It shook eastern Russia in 1947, and it caused a massive impact crater and explosion, which was heard and felt for 200 miles. And we want to give this to Joseph because that's the kind of impact that you have on our fellow.
Thank you.
And this is a thank you. It is a rare privilege to work alongside someone who pairs a great intellect and technical skills with a genuine heart for service. Thank you for bringing your remarkable talents and your unique journey from Czechoslovakia to our community, to the heart of our Rotary Club. And your dedication as our secretary keeps us grounded, organized, and inspired. So that's
Thank you. Thank you.
So I want to just say that it's been a pleasure to serve as your president this year, and it's been educational, and I learned a lot both from the beginning to the end, even right up to this morning. Learned a lot, and I wish that all for Frank here too. So with that, I want to award you your very own Rotary gavel, which you will.
He'll bring us out.
Yeah, this one.
This is your Rotary gavel, which you can use to pass it or not, our Rotarians. So
Pretty awesome. Thank you.
and with that, I will turn the meeting over to you.
Well, before Steve walks away, I can only take this thing off. I roam a little bit. I got my ADHD, so hold on. While I'm president this year, I will be ADHD. So Steve also receives his plaque with his gavel. So we want to congratulate you, Steve, for a successful year. And thank you for everything. Couple things. I'm still trying to put my committee together, so I don't want to start my speech off with a number of you, but what's important to me is over the last few years, I've slowly gotten to know a few of you, and some of you have said, well, Frank, I'm a past president. So what I want to do right now, because past presidents to me are the mentors for the new president. So will all the past presidents in our club please stand up and be recognized? Now, this is fantastic. Sarah, Eljoy, Bill, Asha, Mark, I mean, this is what I'm gonna need, okay? And then those who didn't stand, this is your opportunity, because we are looking ahead the next few years for more presidents. And so I appreciate that opportunity. And because I'm still pestering you, obviously, as treasurer, and that is one of the roles that I am looking for. I'm gonna try and pin Don down, but he says being the treasurer of the foundation might have a little bit of conflict of interest, but that's okay. We'll work on that. And then my side note is obviously just hoping Joseph can help me out still for a little while as he would like to transition off, or at least we're gonna break up some of his secretarial roles because we've got club runner, we've got slides, we have a meeting room, we've got AV, we've got Zoom, we've got all these things that it takes to run this meeting on a week-to-week basis. So I'm counting on every one of you if you can step up. And then last but not least, I really want to recognize the work that you're already doing in the community. One of the things that I'm finding is when I meet Rotarians and they say, well, Frank, I can't do the park cleanup, or I can't volunteer for certain things. And I'm like, well, what are you doing? What have you been up to? And then I see them out volunteering at Jeremiah, or I see them volunteering at their church, or I see them volunteering at Mayo Clinic, or I see them volunteering at Ronald McDonald House. I mean, the Swing Your Birdie golf tournament is on Monday, and many of you are signed up for that, great fundraiser for Ronald McDonald House. That's what I think Rotary is all about. Service above self, but it's just not within Rotary. It's sharing our skills, our blessings with other people in the community. And that's the thing that I just love most about meeting so many of you. And last but not least, he couldn't make it today. My biggest mentor, George, you know, here's somebody who's volunteered for his 96 years, because his birthday is coming up in a couple of weeks. And so obviously I look up to George as my father, but many of you know George, and please, I always say to him, Dad, you know, George Allen, you're Frank Allen's father, but it also means a lot to me when I'm George Allen's son. And so that's the things that carry on with me. And with that, I'm gonna sort of that Mayo tradition, you get the gavel handed to you, and it's my honor to be able to say, meeting adjourned.